Hey there, and welcome back to the Her Business Elevated podcast, helping you to turn your profitable passion into a plan of action. I'm your host, Demetria Zinga, content strategist, podcast coach, and now founder and CEO of Soul Podcasting Collective, where we help entrepreneurs amplify their voice through podcasting with heart. If you're looking for help with podcast audio or video editing, or maybe you're ready for coaching to get your show off the ground and into the world, I'd love to support you. Just head on over to soulpodcasting.com to get started. But before we jump into today's episode, I've got a little gem for you. Go check out my latest video over on YouTube where I'm sharing practical tips on how to build confidence to finally share your voice through your blog. So if you're a blogger or thinking about starting a blog, and if you've been sitting on a message or feeling stuck about showing up online, this video is especially for you. I'll leave a link in the show notes. Also, a quick thank you to HoneyBook, our sponsor for today's episode. HoneyBook is my absolute go-to for keeping my client process streamlined. Everything from proposals and contracts to invoicing and follow-ups. It lives in one beautifully organized space. I love it because if you're creative or an entrepreneur or coach, you know what I'm talking about and how important it is to simplify your back-end workflow. And I highly recommend HoneyBook for that. So I've dropped my referral link in the show notes. You can get 30% off. So just go to share.honeybook/herbusiness to check it out. And of course, this link is also in the show notes. All right, my friends, so let's get into today's topic, which is navigating the fear of rejection in your business. And I would love to talk about this because it's something that every single entrepreneur has faced or will face if you haven't already, and that's rejection. Now, I know it's not a fun word. It doesn't exactly give you the warm and fuzzies, but the truth is that rejection is not just a possibility in business. It is inevitable, unfortunately. And here's what I need you to know right from the top. Rejection is not a personal attack, okay? So don't take it personally. It's not always a reflection of your worth or your work. It's just part of the journey. Whether you're pitching your services to a potential client, whether you're launching a brand new program, or simply raising your rates to reflect the value that you now bring, there are going to be moments where people say no, or worse, they ghost you. And that part, that kind of stings. I'll be honest with you, and I'm just going to get real with you for a minute. I have had clients who I thought were fully on board. We had these amazing, energizing calls where I just knew we were aligned. I'd send them a custom proposal, crafted with intention, with clarity, with care, and I'd even leave the door open for questions or adjustments. And then nothing, not a peep, zero, no email, no thanks, but no thanks, just silence, radio silence. And look, I can handle a no. I've had plenty of them. I'm grown. I'm seasoned in this. Believe me, I know what a no means, and I'm good at taking no for an answer. But when communication just stops, that's what hurts the most, because I'm not just sending a doc with numbers. I'm showing up with strategy, with heart, with offers that I know could shift their business. And then when that's met with silence, it feels like I'm talking into a void. And like many of you, I've had those moments where I second guess myself, like asking questions such as, was the pricing too high? Or did I not explain the value well enough? Or maybe I was just too confident, right? But here's what I've come to understand. It's not that it's always about me. Sometimes that client is simply not ready. They're battling their own fears, their own uncertainties. Maybe they're afraid to invest in themselves. Maybe they don't even believe in their own potential yet. And so your proposal, your invitation to up-level, it just feels intimidating. Rejection often has more to do with where they are in their own journey than with you or your offer. So how do we reframe all of this? Because the real shift happens when you stop seeing rejection as a brick wall and you start viewing it as a mirror, a chance to reflect and to grow and learn from all of that you've experienced. And instead of saying, they didn't choose me, you can try telling yourself this wasn't the right fit or the right time. See, that's a small shift that protects your mindset and your momentum. Even when it's silent, when you don't get feedback and you're left guessing, that silence can still speak. It might be revealing a gap in how clearly you're communicating your value, or it might be showing you where your messaging needs some refinement, or again, it may have nothing to do with you at all. So let's talk about someone who embodies this beautifully, and her name is Myleik Teele, and she's the founder of CurlBox. Now, if you don't know Myleik, she's a powerhouse in the beauty and business space. But before CurlBox ever existed, she applied for a role that she really wanted in the beauty industry, and she didn't get it. Just flat out rejection. And again, that's something that I can relate to. I have applied for plenty of marketing jobs and roles that I didn't receive. And I'm sure if you're an entrepreneur or business-minded or career-oriented, you can relate to this. Myleik received rejection, and she could have let that stop her. But instead, she chose to pave her own lane. She built something. She built something that the market didn't even know it needed yet. And CurlBox went on to revolutionize the subscription model for natural hair products. So that no gave her the space to say a bigger yes to herself. And that's the thing. Every no that you think is shutting a door might actually be rerouting you to build the entire house yourself. So how do we keep showing up when rejection threatens to shake our confidence? The first thing I would recommend that we all do is to get clear on our why. Because when you're rooted in purpose, a no cannot uproot you. You know why you started, you know who you're here to serve, and that keeps you grounded. And secondly, you want to lean into the clients who do see your value. That's where you want to be spending your time. Instead of hyper-focusing on the ones who don't respond to you, you should pour into the ones who actually do say yes. Use that momentum to remind yourself that people are listening, people are watching, and people do value what you offer. And thirdly, protect your energy. And I do mean that because not every pass or ghosting needs to live rent-free in your mind. Sometimes you've just got to bless and release. And finally, you want to practice detachment. And this doesn't mean that you stop caring. It means that you show up, you serve, you extend an offer, and then you let go of the outcome. Again, that's kind of the part of the process of blessing and releasing. Let go of the outcome. You do the work with excellence, but you don't tie your worth to whether or not someone says yes. True resilience isn't being numb. It's not numbness. It's having perspective. It's knowing that your business is a long-term game, and every step, even the hard ones, are building your character and deepening your impact. Now, before we wrap up, I want to shout out someone who embodies this kind of resilience and clarity, and she's an incredible woman doing beautiful work in her community. Her name is Tracy Kelly. She's a homeschool coach and educator who's now offering tutoring services in addition to her coaching for students in need of extra support. And I've loved seeing her take bold action in her business. We recently collaborated to update her tutoring page on her website at homeschoolpower.com/tutoring. And let me tell you, Tracy is walking in clarity. She knows who she's called to serve. She knows the value of her support, and she's showing up fully in that space. She's such a great example of what happens when you stop waiting for someone else to give you permission and you just start walking forward in confidence. So shout out to Tracy, and if you have students who need a tutor, be sure to check out Tracy's support services. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Her Business Elevated. And if you've ever faced rejection in your business, and I know you have, I want you to remember this: you're not alone. That no that you heard yesterday, it might just be clearing the path for a yes that's way more aligned with what you're doing and where you're going. So just keep showing up and keep refining your voice and keep believing that your message matters, because it does. And if you're a faith-based podcaster, or you're thinking about starting your show, hey, I would love for you to join us over at the Christian Women Podcasters Network at christianwomenpodcasters.com. And you can grab a free listing as of now, set up your own promo page, and get discovered by listeners who are craving content with purpose. Or if you're simply someone who loves discovering powerful women-led podcasts, go check it out and listen to some of the shows there. There's something so powerful about women using their platforms to encourage, equip, and elevate others. And as always, for more encouragement and strategies for women entrepreneurs, head on over to herbusinesselevated.com. And one more thing, if you're ready to launch or grow your podcast, or you just need some editing, coaching, or content strategy support, visit us over at soulpodcasting.com. That's soul, SOUL, podcasting.com. And I'm here to help you amplify your voice and share it with the world. Until next time, my friend, keep building, keep believing, and never forget that your business was born for impact. To your business success.